Hey everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable the podcast. It is Thursday, November 21st. Dreary, rainy day here in Pennsylvania, but that's good. We need the rain. And how about those Sixers losing again last night? Huh? They're still bitching, they're still fighting, and beat, even though Embiid had a great game. 35 points, 11 rebounds. He's bitching, he's bitching. I tell you. What a mess, huh? What a mess. Thank God for the Eagles. Thank God for the Eagles. Playing Sunday night football against the Rams. I can't wait. Phillies supposedly meeting with Juan Soto. Hmm. Uh, I've also heard that the Kansas City Royals are very interested in Alec Bowe, man. That's a shame. I like Alec Bowe. He's only 28. I think he can still be a great hitter. He's made himself into a better defensive third baseman. But wow, the heat meltdown in the playoffs. Wow, God, he returned with the old bow. It was sad to see. So let's see what happens, right? Hopefully they trade him to Kansas City or get some young talent back. Cool. The other thing is before I have a movie classic in a week I wanted to do. And this is a good one. But before that, did you hear about Jay Leno? Jay Leno took a fall 60 feet down a hill in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Really? Apparently he's doing a show. And he was coming out of his hotel about 30 miles outside of Pittsburgh. And took a fall down the hill 60 feet. Let that down. And banged himself out pretty good, all black and blue on his left hand side. His eyes kind of swollen shut. He broke his wrist. I mean, this guy, poor guy, he seems to always have health problems. You know, he had that problem with motorcycle a couple of years ago where he hurt himself really bad. And I think he took another fall to Jesus, Jim. I know what the hell. He's like, what, 72 now? 73? Can't be doing shit like that, you know? But I don't know. How do you fall down a hill like that? Pushed him. What the hell? He was walking to a restaurant, which was nearby where he was going to be doing a show. And I don't get it. Hey, let's talk about something better, huh? Okay, not the TV. I'm not doing the TV anymore. Movie classic of the week. Now, you know, last week we did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And today we're doing one of my personal favorites. This is in my personal collection. The Hustler. There it is. No, this isn't about my life. The Hustler. This is a cool movie, 1961. Paul Newman, Jackie Gleason, George C. Scott. Just a great, great movie. There it is. All right, I want to tell you a few things about this movie. Yeah, it's got the thing. I need the glasses because of kids. You know, I think I told you I'm going to get cataract surgery 2 days before Christmas. Crazy or what? The 23rd. But no, apparently they take the cataracts out and you can see good right away. I gotta wear some sort of coat patch for a couple of days. But it's, yeah. And not only that, while they're in there fiddling around with stuff, they're going to put a new lens in. So, you know, I really haven't been able to see far away since I was a kid. I mean, that we're talking 122 years ago or something. They're going to put a new lens in so that I can see far away. Thank you. You know, that's going to be a great Christmas movie. Just means. How about that? They're doing the right eye on December 23rd. They're doing the left eye on January 26th. So, by springtime, by the time the Phillies start playing, I'll be able to see stuff. Hopefully, those will be worth watching, right? All right, so here. And I won't need these glasses anymore. these goofy glasses. Now, the thing is, uh, I may need a pair of reading glasses, like really thin reading glasses. That's okay. I'd rather see far away since I've never really suffered. So, anyway, anybody who's had cataracts can relate, right? Powerless. So that guy will be taken care of. I mean, even like, going in the hospital even 2 days before Christmas and all. I'm not. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Plus, we don't get me drunk. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so this Hustler, right? Hustler came out 1961, black and white. It was made for a little bit over $2 million. It made $7.5 million. It was critically acclaimed. It was nominated for all kinds of Oscars. We'll get into that later. And Paul Newman was the lead actor. Of course, then they had the sequel. Do you remember the sequel in 1987 called The Color of Money, where Paul Newman played Fast Eddie Felson again? And he actually won an Oscar for Best Actor. And I remember that. A lot of people said, he wasn't as good in that movie. It was sort of a makeup Oscar, for being not winning the original Hustler and not winning so many other great roles that Paul Newman played in the past, like in Cool Hand Luke, The Sting. So many great movies Paul Newman. He's one of my favorite actors. I gotta tell you, I'm a big Paul Newman fan. But think about how many big actors would it? Jackie Gleason, Jackie Gleason. If you listen to this podcast or watch this podcast, this happens to be, by the way, my 441st episode. How about that? Huh? And if you've listened to this before, we're a big fan of Jackie Gleason, the great one. Well, Jackie Gleason, a hell of an actor. He could do comedy, but he could do a lot of straight roles. And this one was a straight role, and he was brilliant in the costume. He played Minnesota Fence. And by the way, the movie in 1997, the Library of Congress decided that The Hustler was worth proclaiming The Hustler as a historic movie, classic movie, to well enough to be preserved. It is. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. You give me the plot. It's about this guy, Fast Eddie Felson, played by Paul Newman. He's this young, brash, arrogant football who thinks he's the best in the world. So he goes to Iowa, Ames, Iowa. Apparently, back in the 50s, Ames, Iowa was the Super Bowl, like the mega place of pool falls and pool play. And that's true in Iowa. Why Iowa? I don't know. But so he goes there to look for Minnesota Fats, because he heard Minnesota Fats, who's played by Jackie Gleason, is the best freaking pool player in the entire world. So he wants to take him on one-on-one. And I'm not going to spoil the film for you, but that's how the film starts, and that's how the film ends, with pool matches between Fast Eddie and the great Minnesota. Now, in between, there's all kinds of stuff. A love story, Fast Eddie, and this woman in there. And there's all kinds of stuff going on. Then he gets his thumbs broken by a bunch of local thugs, because Eddie is trying to hustle pool on the side in Iowa. Because he's so much better. He's so much better than all these little peons, that are trying to play pool, who think they're great in these little pool halls all over the state of Iowa. And he goes and hustles. Well, sooner or later, you're going to end up with the wrong crowd, and he did. And He broke his thumb. Same thing. I would think it was worse. So anyway, so there's a lot going on in between, but the main thing is the food. Now, book. This is based on a book. I've had a Walter Tevis wrote this book back in 1959. And he wrote the book, and it was a bestseller. And the film originally, get this, the film originally was picked up by Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra loved the story. He was going to make the movie. But what happened was, it never got made. Either he didn't get the finances to do it or whatever. But apparently, the book in Sinatra's version really emphasized the food problem. And the director who finally got it, a guy named Robert Rosen, said, hey, yeah, the pool planning's cool. We're going to keep that. But there's also another story. There's a love story. And really, the big part of the book and the story is about how a man redeems himself. How a man is like he's a loser. He is a loser in life. But by the end of the movie, he turns out to be a winner. Not necessarily in pool, but winner in life. He finds his own self-esteem. Again, I don't want to spoil it. I haven't seen it, but it's a great movie. But it's really more about, if you think about it, I don't want to watch this one. Pool, what the hell? But it's really not. Pool is just a sort of a sign. So Sinatra was out of it, and what happened was this guy Robert Rosen, producer director, bought the book, the Red City book, co-wrote the screenplay, and really focused more on the relationships, the human relationships in the story. You're going to see a lot of cameos in this movie. You remember the Raging Bull, the boxer, Jake LaMotta? He's in this movie. He plays a bartender in the movie. There's all kinds of cameos in this movie. It's really kind of cool. The one guy, you probably aren't going to recognize this guy. But you know the name, if you're any sort of a pool fan or sport fan, Willie Mosconi, one of the greatest pool players in the history of pool. He is the technical advisor in this movie. He does all the trick shots, and you can't see. They don't show his face, but a lot of the shots, the trick shots, his hands, that is Willie Mosconi, not Paul Newman. Mosconi also plays a role. His name is Willie. Will. And he gets to hold the money during the pool match. And when Newman says hold the money, Will, that is Will Mosconi. Great pool player. Although, get this, Jackie Gleason, Jackie Gleason played a lot of pool when he was a kid. He even mentioned this when he was on with Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show. He said he used to hustle kids when he was a kid, playing pool. He was so good at it. He used to hang around the pool halls, get tips. He used to play the older guys, adults, and would beat them. He got pretty good at it. So, Gleason did all the shots. Willie Mosconi didn't do any of Gleason's shots. He did all of them. And Paul Newman turned out to be a pretty good pool player by the end of the movie. But as I said, Mosconi did a lot of his trick shots too. So you've got so we said that Sinatra loved the movie, loved the book. He was going to get in on it, couldn't do it. So this Robert Rosen guy, he wrote a play. He was always fascinated with pool play. In fact, Rosen was another kind of a hustler in his youth, sort of like Gleason. And Rosen wrote a play called Papa Porter, and he was going to turn that into a movie. But then he read Walter Tennyson's book called The Hustler, and wrote the screenplay and turned that into a movie. So that's how he ended up getting it. Interesting notes. Paul Newman almost did not play Fascinating Farsi. Why? Because Newman was tied up in another movie. He got the script, didn't even read the script. Newman's agent turned down the role. Why? Because Newman was in another movie scheduled to shoot with Elizabeth Taylor called Two for the Seaside. And so they turned down the role. Guess who was going to play Fascinating Farsi? You'll never guess. Bobby Darin. Yes, the singer Bobby Darin, who I'm a fan of too. Splish splash, I was taking it on all about a Saturday night. That night, over short punch, oh, with its teeth, oh. Anyway, Bobby Darin was going to play Fascinating because they saw him on TV and thought, hey, he's got to bump it up. What happened was this. By fate, you know how things happen, destiny, fate, fates think they're meant to be. Elizabeth Taylor had some problems that dropped out of that movie. That freed up Paul Newman to drop out, and that freed up Paul Newman to take the role as Fascinating Farsi. In fact, we read the script and didn't even finish it. Halfway through the script of The Hustler, he put the script down and said to his agent, call him up, I'm doing this movie. And he did, fast enough. So, that's how he got it. Most of the movie was filmed in New York City. Even though most of the movie is set in Iowa, specifically Ames, Iowa, the actual filming was done in New York City, different pool halls, the Greyhound bus terminal in Manhattan was used. They actually built a sort of a luncheonette, lunch counter, diner in New York City, was a cooked by the right account. And it was so authentic, people were lining up to go to lunch. And they said, no, this is just a movie prop. Get the hell out of it. Right. Anyway, this Robert Rosen guy, he wanted the movie to be so authentic, he actually hired in New York City, he hired some real street thugs. He hired them as extras. That's how authentic he wanted this movie. So there you go. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of, well, even now, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes and you type in The Hustler, right? You'll see it's got a 94% score first movie. And which is a hell of a score. Well, you look at it. Critics loved the movie. And they thought it was a little too long, but they loved it. They praised it, they loved it, they loved it. And really the reason why Roger Ebert, who was one of my favorite movie reviewers, said, oh, it was about cool, but it was about more than it was more about winning and losing. It was about a man accepting reality that there's more than just being the best at something in the world. You gotta treat people well. You gotta be nice to people. And if you see this movie, Fascinating Farsi, especially at the start of the movie, he's a real jerk. He's a real butt. He treats his manager, poor guy, like a fuck. He's like, you gotta treat people with kindness. You gotta be a good person, It's just all not about being a well chick. So, yeah, the movie was nominated for quite a few Academy Awards. 1961, nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, like a Lord. Two Best Supporting Actors, George C. Scott and Jackie Gleason. Both were nominated for Best Screenplay. Didn't win anything. What it did win was things like Best Cinematography. Yeah, a lot of times you'll see a movie that has like 12 nominations and never wins. Like wins all the peon awards, like the Star Wars, like Best Lighting, Best Sound, Best Costume. But doesn't win like the major categories. That's what counts. It won a few little, so to speak, categories, but it did win the big ones. Well, that won the big ones. But The Hustler has since turned into a classic movie. In fact, it was voted the number 6 best sports movie of all time. Number 6. And the screenplay, out of the top 100 screenplays of all time, 96. 96. So what we've come to see in The Hustler, I finally love this. This is a classic movie. It's a great movie. You've got all these heavyweight stars. You've got George C. Scott play this rotten evil villain guy who's like contemptible. And I remember one, there's so many classic lines. The Newman says to him, you're dead inside. You're dead inside. And, you got Gleason. Gleason hardly says a word. Just play pool, I mean, just play pool. Yeah, but it's a movie about having class and no class. For instance, think of this one. When Gleason and Newman are having the epic, at the beginning of this one, their epic pool match, which lasts like all day, all through the night, and into the next day. That's how these guys play pool back in the day. Gleason says to one of the guys there, he says, do me a favor, run down to the liquor store and get me white whiskey with a touch of bourbon, something really classy and expensive, you know? And Newman says, hey, yeah, why you going down there and get me something too? Well, what Newman gets faster than else is something cheap. Really, like, or a little something like I don't know, like some cheap whiskey, or something. And right there, that shows you what to do. Yeah. You got class, Jackie Gleason, Lucien Fats, well renowned, dresses in a 3-piece suit with carnation, all ready to go, right? And you got the color of the hustling club, they call movie, dresses raggedy, just on the streets trying to hustle people. Oh, that's what the movie's about. It's about a different class and how Newman, by the end of the movie, pulls himself up out of the gutter and makes a respectable human being. So, there you go. So there's so many of these little metaphors through the movie that you have to keep an eye out to. But again, great movie, gritty movie, black and white. If you love intense dramas, underdog stories, you're gonna love The Hustler. There it is again. The Hustler, Lisa and Newman on the cover. Check it out. Go and you can't be, it's not like Blockbuster, you can just rent this. We're not living in the 70s. You just go and stream it. You'll be able to find it. It's a classic. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. All right, well, we'll be back next week and we'll do another classic movie of the week, which we'll talk about. In the meantime, tomorrow's Friday. I'll probably be back tomorrow. We ought to talk a little football. Let's talk a little football for the weekend, okay? I'll give you my NFL picks. Not always right. We'll talk about the Eagles game. Now, don't forget, the Eagles are playing Sunday night. That's gonna be a long week. A long wait. It seems like the Eagles haven't played in forever. They played last Thursday night. I was at that game, and they played Washington. Now they're not playing till Sunday night. Oh my God, what are we gonna do all day? Watch the Cowboys lose again. Yeah. Uh, but they played Sunday night. They played the LA Rams out in LA. That should be a good thing. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Coco, come in and say hello to the people. Don't be shy. Coco, Coco. Come here, Coco. You probably could say it's true. Coco. Yes, come on in. You're so cute. Guess what, everybody? Before I leave, Coco's first birthday ceremony. Number one for the number one door. Coco, oh, what the hell? Before I forget, huh? Speaking of the number one dog, there he is. What the hell did I forget? You know it? Bloodbud himself. Patron saint of his five. We miss you and we love you. Okay, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow to talk football. Saturday, I'll be back. We'll celebrate Coco's birthday together. Hopefully, I can get him in here to celebrate with us. Hey, Coco's special guest on Saturday, and we're going to try. Everybody have a great time. Take care. Peace and see you soon.